Welcome back to our series on the life of Hazrat Umar ibn Al-Khattab. In this ninth part, we explore a truly remarkable aspect of his character. How a man who ruled one of the largest empires in history lived with the simplicity of the most common person. Imagine a world leader today, at the pinnacle of power, whose influence stretches across continents. Now, picture that same leader living in a simple mud brick house, wearing clothes with patches sewn on them, and eating meals of bread and olive oil. This was the reality of Umar ibn Al-Khattab. When he became the caliph, the immense power he wielded didn't harden his heart, it softened it. He was acutely aware that his authority was a test from Allah, and he feared that any luxury or comfort in this life might make him forget his ultimate accountability in the hereafter. He once said, "The world is a place of trial, and I have been tested with its leadership." This deep consciousness guided his every action. Umar's home was modest, with no guards or grand gates separating him from his people. He didn't believe in creating a barrier between the ruler and the ruled. You could find him sleeping under a tree in the afternoon or walking through the markets at night, personally checking on the welfare of his citizens. He would sit on the ground with ordinary people, listen to their problems directly, and provide immediate solutions. For him, leadership was not a privilege, it was a profound responsibility, a service, to be rendered with utmost sincerity. There's a famous story that perfectly illustrates this. One day, an envoy from the Byzantine Empire arrived in Medina to meet the Caliph. He expected to find a grand palace with a king seated on a magnificent throne, surrounded by guards. Instead, he was directed to a man sleeping peacefully on the sand under a palm tree, using his shoe as a pillow. When the envoy was told that this was Umar, the ruler of the Islamic Empire, he was stunned and famously said, "You ruled with justice, so you were secure, and so you slept." Umar's compassion was most evident in his concern for the vulnerable, the poor, the widows, and the orphans. He didn't just issue decrees from an office, he took it upon himself to deliver aid personally. He would patrol the streets of Medina at night to ensure that no one went to bed hungry. One night, he heard a child crying in a tent. He found a woman boiling a pot of water with stones in it, trying to trick her hungry children into falling asleep. Immediately, Umar rushed to the public treasury, loaded a sack of flour and other supplies onto his own back, and brought it to the family. When his servant offered to carry the heavy sack for him, Umar's response was a powerful lesson for all leaders. He asked, "Will you carry my burden for me on the day of judgment?" He then stayed with the family, cooked a meal for them himself, and didn't leave until he saw the children eating and laughing. This profound sense of humility extended to his own family. He made it crystal clear that his position as caliph gave them no special privileges. His children lived just like everyone else. When his son, Abdullah, bought some camels, they grazed on public land. When it was time to sell them, Umar ordered that any profit made beyond the initial investment be returned to the public treasury, arguing that the people had indirectly fed the camels. Justice and simplicity were rules that applied to his household first. Even in his moments of worship, his humility was overwhelming. When he stood for prayer, he would often weep, overwhelmed by the weight of his responsibility. He constantly feared that a single sheep might stray and be lost on his watch, knowing he would be questioned by Allah about it. He lived every day with the awareness that he was accountable for the well-being of every soul under his rule. The life of Umar ibn Al-Khattab proves that true greatness isn't measured by the size of one's kingdom, the amount of wealth, or the extent of one's power. It's measured by humility, the fear of God, and a relentless commitment to serving humanity. His reign shows us that the most powerful ruler can also be the most humble servant. Thank you for joining us on this journey. In our final part, Part Sapula, we will explore the last days of his life, his martyrdom, and the enduring legacy he left behind for all of humanity. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it.